Welcome to my garage. I have been drying these Dahlia tubers. So as you might have seen the video where I actually pulled the tubers, if you haven't, check that out here before you come into here. I have never done this before. I am going off of the American Dahlia Society and their recommendations. I'll have a link in the description of where I took this off of. So this is a Dahlia tuber that I pulled out. I've had it in the garage now for about 6 days. So the things that I have, I've got these bins here. These are plastic bins. We didn't quite know the depth, so they're a little deep. And so I think I'm gonna be able to get a bunch in there. So I got those. And then I was able to get this coarse vermiculite. I didn't know how much I needed, so I went and bought this. It is recommended to have coarse vermiculite over perlite or anything else. There are many other things you can use, but it tends to be the best thing that I found from the American Dahlia Society is a coarse vermiculite. I've got a variety here. I haven't really messed with these. I haven't brushed them. Northern gardeners tend not to wash the dahlias. And I think the thinking is, you know, when you wash them, you're adding more moisture. And part of the reason we're storing them over winter is we want them to do well. We want them to be between 40 and 50 degrees. So I feel like my basement is gonna be a really good, it's an unheated basement. And the vermiculite gives them a little bit of moisture. The thinking on a lot of these is for a northern gardener is that I don't want to add moisture now because moisture contributes to root rot. Whereas if you're in a more southern hemisphere or, you know, a little bit south, you're kind of washing them makes sense because it's not that cold and so you're not introducing moisture. So I don't have a lot of moisture in these, so I will trim the top here. I'm going to talk about that in a second. The first step is I've cured dried these. 6 days, probably could have gotten away with 2 days, but hey, I'm a person, I'm a human, and this is the time that I had to do it, and here I am 6 days later. Didn't get to save my dahlias last year, so kudos to me for saving dahlias for the first time. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim. Big important thing, I've got my snips here. I've cleaned them and sanitized them so that I don't introduce any diseases to the dahlias. I wanted to say, I am not dividing my tubers right now. I'm gonna divide them later. I'm taking this one step at a time. So I'm gonna dry, I'm gonna trim, I'm gonna place in the boxes. And because I don't know which ones are which, I don't want any dahlia tubers touching each other. So I'm gonna make sure they don't touch each other. I do have some mushy ones, so I think I wanna trim out the mushy ones, but I don't know how mushy, so I think it's more if they're wet and they have moisture, I really gotta do that. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna add vermiculite into this container on the bottom. And again, I've got the coarse vermiculite, so I just put some on the bottom. Basically, I got this guy here. I'm gonna just try to get all of the soil off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and snip to 1 to 2 inches, and I probably should have gotten a stronger snips. There we go. Clean it and brush it off as much as possible. I'm kind of being a little lazy with that because I'm seeing what I can get away with, to be honest. I probably should have them cleaned a little bit more with brush. There is something about, like, again, washing them can add moisture. The thinking around some of the dirt on them is that it helps hold in the moisture, especially in cold climates. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in here. So I think I can probably fit 2 in here. And then again, 1 to 2 inches here. No touching, no touching, no touching. So here I've got my tubers sitting in the vermiculite. Just gonna go ahead and cover them with vermiculite. There you have it. I got 2 tubers in a bin. I'm gonna grab my next bin. I've got a nice big one right here looking good. I probably should use a brush. This one I'm definitely gonna get multiple plants out of when I pull it out again. Dead. Holy moly. All right, so there you have it. I've got 5 bins. I've got about 2 dahlias per bin. Every month, I'm gonna check the moisture in here. They're dry right now. I'm gonna probably mist it a little bit, probably on the top, just to give it some moisture. Check in with them, make sure one rotting dahlia, from what I'm reading, can ruin the entire bin. storing dahlias from this new gardener. Like and subscribe. 5 months from now, we will actually 6 months from now, we'll see if the sprout and good things happen. Happy Dahlias.